Okay, so I'm going to say that one more time. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're really excited to introduce and announce this one-of-a-kind, unique experience, this unique virtual convention. There's unlike anything like it anywhere in the country, and we're excited that the first school nutrition association to do anything like this is Georgia. So we're excited to be leaders here. I am going to share my screen and have a little PowerPoint. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. So what I want to do is we're going to walk through kind of what this is, the overview of it, kind of where it came from. We're going to have an opportunity to have one of your peers, Emily Hanlon, Executive Director from Cobb County, kind of speak to what this means from the school nutrition side of the equation, right? And then we're going to get, well, hopefully she's on here. I think I saw her get on here. Our current GSNA President, Tessney Lockhart's thoughts on it as well. So that being said, let's see if I can move this out of the way and see my screen. Bear with me. I have the notification that we got people waiting in the waiting room who obviously are not getting in at this point. Okay, so the mission statement. I'm sorry, what was that?
Could you let Karen Halford in? She works with Ken. She does probably need to be on this one.
Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah, hi Karen. We'll get her in there.
Sorry, thank you. And Brandon
yeah,
Ferdies.
I recognize Brandon. I just let him in. Okay. I mean,
like, we know who you are. Okay.
How about all this fun that we, again, so everyone knows our committee, our team, we kind of went through any possible challenges and we thought we were prepared, but getting hacked was not on the list. So the mission statement. So we wanted to create an opportunity to connect GSNA members to industry partners. Obviously, this season 2020 is unlike anything we've really ever faced. The gap that just by the nature of safety and protocol kind of had prevented some of those interactions from happening. So we wanted to create a value add sort of system or convention that would create a revenue stream to support the GSNA moving forward, in addition to creating opportunities for these interactions. Obviously, when we start to look at what 2020 has sort of taken away from us from the GSNA side of it, we lost the annual conference in April this year. We were kind of, as we started looking at the calendar, we realized the conference wasn't going to be the only thing that was going to be removed from the calendar. And so as we started to look at that, we realized that we really needed to create some opportunities for some revenue streams to buoy the GSNA, but do so in a way that was meaningful to both membership and the industry partners. So from there, we created a committee, that would review and analyze what that might look like. We had the bones of what we thought would be a good idea, which was a virtual convention, and a virtual convention that would highlight a few different ways of interacting folks, but really wanted to flesh that out and use the expertise of the industry as a whole to do so. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce our committee. And again, I apologize for those of you who don't know me. My name is Corey Ferger. I'm with CJA Reps. We're an equipment manufacturer rep group out of Atlanta, Georgia. I am the chairperson for this convention, and our committee members are as follows. So Emily, if you wouldn't mind unmuting and saying hello to everybody.
So hello, I'm Emily Hanlon. I am your incoming, or actually current president-elect for GSNA, but I am also the executive director here in Cobb County.
Thank you, Emily. Mr. David Pearson of PACE Reps.
Hey everybody, David Pearson, PACE Reps. I am your past Industry Advisory Board Chair and was asked to join this great committee and help put this virtual conference on. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, David. Ms. Karen Ford Duke couldn't be on the call. She's on another call right now, but we greatly appreciate her input and her expertise from House of Rayford. I'm going to butcher it again. Hey, Anya, could you say hello to everybody? Oh, was she one of the casualties that didn't get in?
Oh,
She
she
was
might
one that, yeah, she was the one that texted me and said she couldn't get in.
Oh, okay. Well, we have Anya Keichenmeister. Did I say that right?
I think
I think
so.
I'm close. Anya is from Camacho and Associates. She's been a valuable piece as far as helping us understand maybe the needs from the sort of service side, and we'll just call them the general other side of the equation, right? And then we have some other folks I'd like to highlight here. I don't want to skip past this, but I'll introduce Joel here first because I see him on the screen. Joel Teachworth, he's the GSNA Industry Advisory Board President. Joel, can you say a few words?
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to working with everybody in the GSNA team, as well as the board and the members this upcoming year. I think what we have today, you guys have already seen a little bit of it, I think, but what Corey and Emily will walk us through will hopefully show you guys some more value and additional value to this new virtual show that we're going to be putting on. So thanks for having me.
And then we have Ms. Tessney Lockhart, who's our current GSNA president. And we have an opportunity for her to speak, and she's going to share her thoughts with us in a few moments. But Tessney, if you could hop on and say hello to everybody.
Hello, I'm Tessney Lockhart. I'm the current GSNA president, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Thanks, Tessney. So again, the genesis, I really want everyone to kind of understand the background and where this came from. I think there's a lot of value in understanding the context of it all. So it really kind of came from, as I spoke about, the GSNA funding kind of essentially being eliminated due to COVID-19, with the elimination of pretty much everything on the calendar, trying to figure out, you know, how we could help sustain the GSNA moving forward into the new reality here. We also realized there was a void in delivery of the new information, useful information, right? Like obviously things have changed in a lot of y'all's world as it relates to how you're feeding kids, but it's also changed as to how that message and that information is being delivered. What kind of the way things used to work is feasible right now. And so that kind of led us on a path of looking at other models. What would it look like? And they were all flawed. So we know that our neighbors to the west, Alabama School Nutrition Association, is doing somewhat of a virtual convention. And I say somewhat because they're doing just videos. So videos are being recorded of booths, and then you can log on and watch video. And we didn't think that was great because who wants to sit and watch 100 different videos, right? And we know that that doesn't really allow for great engagement. And no opportunity for dialogue, right? So we wanted to create something where there was a true back and forth between school nutrition and industry, where it's a true engagement, questions, and a personalization there. And so all these models had sort of limited capability. So we asked, what if we did something that didn't exist? Could that be done? We reached out to our partners at Map Dynamics, and we were pleased to find out that, yeah, we really could do something unique and one of its kind. So then from there, we reached out to y'all. You may have participated in the survey, and the results were overwhelming that there was an appetite from the membership side for this sort of convention and an event. In fact, 89% of directors said they would attend a virtual convention, and 98% preferred a fall schedule of events. So that told us that, one, again, there was an appetite, and two, that there was an appetite now for it. So we got the committee working on it right away. We're pulling together basically a year's worth of planning and work into a 2-month window. And then from that, we determined that 85% were interested in attending educational seminars, and 7% were interested in attending virtual exhibit shows. So again, it sort of validated the direction we were headed, and really cemented myself and the committee in our resolve to push forward with this. So that led us to kind of where we are now, which we're taking what we've been calling a dual peg approach to this convention. And it's being held up by virtual booth exhibits and daily webinars. And when we say daily webinars, we're talking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because we know, that's where the real level of engagement is during the week. And so I'm gonna highlight the virtual booth real quick, and I'll let Emily talk about the webinars. But this is what the landing page looks like right now. When you land onto the exhibit or the convention, there's a landing page. We're going to have sponsorship logos up for the folks who are participating at a totally different level and higher level. This is what the show floor looks like. This is real time as of yesterday afternoon. Almost every single booth has been sold inside of a week. It looks like we're going to add basically a second hall or a bigger floor plan to accommodate the sort of interest on the membership side that we're seeing, or excuse me, on the industry side, to participate in something groundbreaking like this. And that's exciting to see. It's exciting to see that the industry wants to partner, not just with the GSNA, but with school nutrition as a whole here in the state of Georgia. And one thing I really want to highlight, and I think it's worth pointing out, and I don't want it to be anything other than something that should be taken into account, but it's really important that the industry side's enthusiasm is met with the same sort of enthusiasm on the membership side. And that's kind of what we're here to talk about today a bit, is things are changing. Marketing budgets have dramatically shifted and been reduced on the industry side. I can speak to that personally. That's the side that I represent. And if there's not the turnout for this sort of event, if there's not the enthusiasm from the membership side, I can tell you that moving forward, there's going to be a lot of industry folks who decide not to participate in next year's convention and conference and other events. And that's simply because the money doesn't exist like it did before. And so we're really asking for not just participation from the membership side in new and unique ways, but we really want to create something that encouraged that participation in new and unique ways, and no longer something that was just one or two people being able to participate in, but the collective team as a whole. And we'll get into a little bit more of that here in a moment, but here's what you can expect in the virtual exhibit hall. You'll be able to find cut sheets and sell sheets on all the products and services that those vendors sell and offer. You'll be able to find company bios, links to marketing videos, and the real kind of secret sauce, if you will, the embedded calendar. And this is what the booth is going to look like. So if you click on, say the CGA reps booth, this is what you would essentially find. You'd find, my beautiful mug and maybe a few pictures of some other folks on our team, contact information, but you'll see the little tabs at the top. You'll find opportunities to learn more about the company. You'll find contact information, the cut sheets and the products and services, the videos. You're going to find other places that you might be able to engage with us, related sessions, right? Like if Joel's on here with Kellogg's, right? So if Kellogg's is sponsoring a webinar on breakfast, you might be able to find those sort of links in there as well. And then the Let's Talk is, again, that's the secret sauce. That's the special concept here, which is essentially a way to schedule a virtual booth exhibit. So the idea is, how do we make what you would experience at the show real virtually? And so what it is an opportunity to schedule a time in a calendar with available windows for that participation. And you can schedule, say Emily wanted to go to Kellogg's booth at 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning. She could schedule Tuesday 10 a.m. For this virtual booth, and she could have her entire team located all across Cobb County log into this Zoom call and go to the booth. And at this point, Joel could be able to walk her and her team through the booth just like he would at the show, except it's all done virtually. And there's a level of engagement that wouldn't exist otherwise by just doing a pre-canned video or anything along those lines. So it truly allows for a greater level of participation and engagement than we've ever seen before, than anything that ever exists sort of in the school nutrition convention arena currently. And so we're really excited to be able to do that. We think there's a lot of value in being able to do that. And we think it's going to allow for new and creative ways for engagement across industry and membership. And so this is a little bit of kind of what we're talking about here, is you get the opportunity to have those true face-to-face meetings and interactions and truly have an engaged and customized experience. So, if let's say here, Rockdale County has a scheduled meeting at the CJ Reps booth, well, I'm going to be able to present to Peggy and her team things that are going to be important and imperative for Rockdale County, and not have something that hopefully is a pre-canned sort of setup, but something that's truly specific to her. It's also going to allow for your entire team, like I said, to be able to participate. And that goes from your managers and your coordinators to facility folks. We know facility folks have a great deal of influence, and they're rarely able to attend a lot of the conferences. So we're excited that they're going to be able to participate. Your staff is going to be able to participate in this convention in a way that really would have been a financial burden historically. And then it's going to ensure efficiencies when it comes to scheduling those meetings. So you're scheduling the meetings when they work for you and when they work for your team. And that's going to allow that the people that you're scheduling a meeting with to have their full staff and their full teams available to interact with you. So it's no longer thinking, going by a booth and you miss, the president who's in the booth who you want to have a conversation with because he's leading. No, this is going to allow for maximum efficiencies in those engagements. So that being said, I'd really like to turn it over to Emily, who's going to talk a little bit about our webinars. And I am going to give her.
Well, you don't have to give me control. You can forward my slides. I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me back up a little bit. And Emily, please, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to back up just a little, just to reinforce a couple of, I think, key points that Corey brought up. First, this will run October 1 through the 31st. So this virtual show will basically be open for the entire month. So you can go and visit booths as you have time. More or less, the booth will be open 24/7. So if you don't have time till 8 o'clock at night, but you want to go and check out a booth, but now, oh yeah, I want to schedule a meeting to learn more about what's in that booth, you can make those scheduled appointments at any time. So you're not locked into a set schedule. You have all month to do those things. So we're really trying to make sure there's a lot of opportunity there. So I honestly, because I was conference chair for this past April's conference that got canceled, one of the most important things for me in this was how do we ensure that the folks on the school side really have engaging opportunities with the folks on the industry side. I've been to enough virtual conferences where I go to a booth and it's a PowerPoint that doesn't do much for me. I want to be able to have that dialogue. So I'm really excited that we've come up with a way to ensure we have that dialogue. So that everyone loves the show. So I don't need to have to oversell it, but the key point there is the dialogue, I think, is still going to happen. The other fun part about conference is the educational sessions. So obviously we go to conference not only to see what's at the show, but also to learn some new things. And so what we've done is we've picked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of each week. We're going to have an afternoon webinar, and we've chosen very timely topics and things that we think you'll be excited about. One of our keynote speakers from our April conference is actually going to do a keynote for us one day, and he's super high energy and fun, and I think you will enjoy watching him. We've also invited all of our what I call our local superstars that I know you all love to hear from, folks like Vanessa Hayes and Nancy Rice and Irvin Watson, coming to do some sessions for us around things that we know you want to hear about. How are you operating right now? We're going to do some panels, and we're not even going to do a director panel. We're going to do a manager panel because I know managers want to talk to other managers and really get their insights. We're going to talk about things about legislation and diversity and dealing with how to manage your staff in a time like this, right? Everything is turned on its ear. So we really worked hard, and I shout out to Tessney for helping me with this, to make sure that the sessions we have are things that not only you as a director or you as a manager, maybe even an FSA in your kitchen might want to hear, because it may be very beneficial to what they're dealing with now. At 2 o'clock on Wednesday, your world blows up, because that happens, right? Happens to me all the time. So we're going to record and archive them. So if you miss one, you can always go back and listen to it later. So that gives you that flexibility. So I'm going to be honest. The other fun part for me about conference is the networking with not only my industry partners, but my school nutrition friends, and the fun aspects. So what we've done is each week we will have a social or fun event. And we're going to do those in the afternoon, evening. So they'll start around 5. And Corey, you can go to my next slide for me.
Yep.
And we're going to build them around. They're going to be structured. There's going to be a little bit of best practice sharing time, but then also some fun and game time. So we'll do some trivia games. We'll do prizes. We may have a dance party. Go back one. I'm like,
Ryan,
Corey's jumping all over.
It's all over the
so
place.
we're going to do those each week to really just kind of get everyone engaged and they, have some fun with that, because that's what we miss from conference as well. The other thing is one week we're going to do a district specific gathering. So a lot of us have our district GSNA meetings, and we would have met by now at least once. or we would have that first meeting planned, and that may not happen for most of us. So we decided to kind of embed that into this virtual conference to allow those districts to get together and still have their normal gatherings and meetings as well. So if any of you are district presidents, you're going to hear more about this when we meet with you guys in September. So I'm excited about that piece as well. We've done some of this stuff with my team of over 150, and I've got some great people who will help us make it fun. So I hope you join us on that as well. All right, so I know the next question. We talked about how do we get there. You go to a website, you log in, you'll have the page where you can go to the show, and then you'll have the page where all the sessions are. And so you'll log into the sessions through that page. This is just an example of what that would look like. Corey, if you go to the next one. This is the question I figured you'd ask. Okay, how much? So we looked at that, and we debated this for a while. We were like, should we make it free? And I'll tell you why I said we shouldn't make it free. Because every free virtual conference I've ever gone to, I've never gone to. I go, oh, I got something else more important. Oh, and then by the time the conference shut down, I never got there. I know if I spend $10, I'm going to go to the conference. But as a large district director, this also is a fantastic opportunity for me to send as many people as I can. Because when we go to conference in Athens, while that's not that far from Cobb County, for me to put up more than 5 to 10 people in a hotel and food and travel and registration, that's a lot of money. And just like Corey mentioned, I know the industry is struggling financially right now. Well, I'd be willing to bet most of you school nutrition directors on the call are looking at your budget going, I don't have a budget to send people to conference. So we came up with this package idea of, you got up to 100 people you want to send, it's $50. You got over 100 up to 300, it's $100. We are also doing $25 for anybody who's not a Georgia school nutrition person, because we anticipate we're going to get people from neighboring states want to come to our conference because of that engagement piece that we're offering with the industry partners that other people aren't doing. So that's the pricing structure. We tried to keep it very reasonable, but also have enough skin in the game that people show up.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback on that real quick. We wanted to make sure that cost wasn't a hindrance to anybody to pay. We really wanted to make sure that was the case. We essentially asked our industry partners to subsidize the cost for membership to participate, but we do want to make sure that there's, to Emily's point, a little bit of skin in the game, and we don't want to cheapen what we're offering. So the pricing structure is such that we really want you to be able to feel good about sending your team, not just yourself as a director, not just you as a manager. We really want your team to be able to participate. We really think there's a lot of value for everyone across the entire industry and across the entire school nutrition world as a whole to be able to benefit from this. So we really wanted to make sure that we had a structure that represented that. And then again, I didn't think there'd be any person more qualified to talk about fun at a conference than Emily Hanlon, because this is a video that from last year.
Look, it's not going to play. And I kicked Will off, and he's got his 5 minutes of fame here.
So again, no one better to talk about fun or more qualified to talk about fun than Emily. So thank you, Emily. I really want to get a word from our president. Again, Tessney Lockhart, my northern roots are going to show here. Houston County. You got it.
You got it.
But Tessney, if you wouldn't mind, again, I'll brag up on you a little bit. You've been exceptionally awesome in helping kind of keep us in check with a lot of things and give us perspective from the manager level. And I think the rest of the school nutrition world would benefit from having sort of that unique perspective. So we would really love your thoughts as it relates to not just the president of the GSNA, but as a manager as well.
Exactly. Hello, everyone. Tessney Lockhart here from Houston County, Georgia. This is a wonderful opportunity. Like you've said before, Corey, this is a great opportunity. It's unique and it's different from anything else that's happening across the country. Ours is more different because we have the opportunity to engage, as Emily said. So we have that one-on-one, that face-to-face. You can also use those opportunities for training, for networking, All those different aspects are in there. And I think what also makes our conference unique is that it's open to everyone. Normally when we go to conference, it's more for upper level management and school level or system level. But now I think we have the opportunity for our food assistants to also enjoy this conference because it's also affordable, which is something that most don't get an opportunity to do. So this conference is for everyone. This is more like a gift for our members because it's an opportunity for training, for networking, for socializing, all those different aspects that we would have had in April, that we would have had at our normal conference. We can have it at this conference, but I think it offers so much more than what we usually get at our regular conferences. So I'm excited about it. I know our members are excited about it. And we have some wonderful speakers lined up. And as Emily said, we have some wonderful education sessions lined up with some great topics that basically showcase everything that we're dealing with, not just in Georgia, but all over the country in school nutrition, as far as our budgets, as far as how are we doing our restart plans, because all across our state, even all across the nation, from one end to the other, it's totally different. You know, some of us are in school, some of us are not. Some of us are doing both models. Some of us are doing more than one model. So we have some great topics with our manager panel and our directors panel, speaking to some of those issues and sharing their stories.
Destiny, I appreciate that, and appreciate you sharing those thoughts as well. So that being said, we know that there's some questions. We want to make sure we address every question. If you have a question, let me do this. Feel free to type it in the chat. We'll address it in the chat room. I am going to pull this up so I can see your screen. Feel free to kind of get my attention, unmute yourself, wave, holler, scream, and we'll address those. But let me go through the chat here first and see, get past where we were hacked. Patrice, I think I got yours. What an exciting start to this, huh? That's a thing that didn't happen before 2020, right? Having a Zoom call hacked. Ken, I see your question as it relates to more than 300 people. We will do whatever we need to do to accommodate. Really.
Corey, Susan already answered it a couple things down, so we're good.
Perfect.
Thank you, Susan.
Perfect.
I don't see
Okay.
any other questions.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? I am getting a note as to who I should let in. I feel bad that they were sitting waiting, but at this point, they've missed most of it anyways. Okay. Any questions out there? I really feel like this is your time to ask. There's no such thing as a silly question. Don't feel embarrassed. People have different technological backgrounds, right? So again, if you're having a question about something, we would imagine other people have the same question. So don't hesitate.
I'm like, wow, Corey.
We did a great job of addressing everything, or we put everyone to sleep.
Yeah, I think they look awake. Claudia just chimed in. So will there be another call for industry planning and learning on how to make the most of their booth, i.e. best practices for them?
Yes. So Claudia, great question. Thank you for participating. So this will highlight kind of a bigger picture as well. So I'll answer Claudia's question and I'll piggyback on it. So yes, there will be. September 12th, I believe, is the date, but we'll have that information available shortly, where we are going to have a mandatory meeting for all those industry partners exhibiting, where we're going to help walk them through how to set up their booth to maximize the most out of their booth and all the different resources that they'll be able to have on there for the school nutrition professionals to dig through. That being said, we're also going to host a training event, and that date will be a little bit closer to the launch of the convention, so probably that last week in September, for our school nutrition professionals, where we're going to host a training so you can feel comfortable on how to navigate the site and where to find the information you want to find. That'll kind of lead me to one other point on here as it relates to how we're going to ask the membership engages and interacts with the booths is we're going to ask that you go to the booths, that you look around. If you see something interesting, schedule the meeting. Coordinate that meeting with your team, so that way you can have more than just 1 or 2 people there, but you can really have your team fully engaged in that. If you want more information, we ask that you leave the contact information. We ask that you show the industry partners that you're engaged, that you appreciate their participation, that you appreciate their support of the GSNA and the school nutrition programs by leaving your contact information. Again, I'll pull back the curtain, and I might get my hand slapped for saying this. You don't have to be afraid of someone abusing your information or someone having your information. All of the industry exhibitors are going to get your information anyways. So when you register for the show and get your access, you're going to put down your name and your email address and your phone number. So they already have it. But by you going to the booth and putting your contact information in there, it shows that you're engaged. And that engagement goes a long way with industry as far as wanting to put their marketing dollars back into school nutrition.
Okay, we got a question from Donna. When will the dates be decided on the events? So Donna, if you'll clarify for me if you're asking about webinars or about the show side, and then I'll come back to answer that one. And then of course, Emerald asked, what does the membership want to see most from vendors or industry partners? And luckily Susan told her that we're having discussion sessions with members to identify this information. So make sure we let you know. And then Claudia asked, to maximize engagement, can we put tools into the industry hands earlier? Calendar times, GSNA will be blocking off sessions, dates, and times. Yes, we have those 90+% nailed down at this point, Claudia, so we can definitely get that out to you, because, right, you're not going to want to schedule a meeting appointment if that's also an educational session time. So great.
That's
Most
right.
of the education sessions are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoons between like 2 and 4. And then once a week, we have like a 5 to 7 fun hour.
Yep. Yeah, and that's not an accident, right? So we don't want everyone to feel like they're drinking from a fire hose. So we're trying to roll information out a little bit at a time. From the industry side, for those who are on the industry call, you're going to have 18 days roughly to build your booth. The anticipation, I know David can talk to it a little bit. He spent a little bit of time maneuvering it. I feel very confident that it's not going to take but more than a handful of hours to really pull the information into the booth. So we feel like we're going to give you a lot of time there. We're going to roll out the entire seminar calendar at one time, so everyone can kind of start mapping it out and planning their month. But we really want this to be a month-long celebration. The problem with the annual conference is it's only 3 days, right? So now we get to do an entire month. And so we hope by giving you this information and giving you the month that it's not going to feel rushed or that you have to cram stuff in, but that you can be thoughtful in your scheduling and thoughtful in how you allow your team to participate. And
we covered Donna's question with, I think, my answer about kind of general timelines on things. Do any of the membership have questions about how they'll access this or how it'll work, or anything you've seen from going to another virtual conference that you want us to either do or to avoid?
Well, that's either really good or really bad.
Oh, no, we got one other one. Thanks for all the updates, hard work, and planning for this event. Thank you, Denise.
Well, with that being said, I know everyone's time is limited. We really appreciate y'all hopping on here. We're really excited about this. I don't want to oversell it, but I can tell you we're excited that Georgia's the first to do this. We have a lot of eyes on this. We're really excited about what we're able to pull together. We have, again, an incredible committee kind of pulling everyone from all parts of the industry and the school nutrition world working together and kind of adding insight and expertise. And so we're really excited about what we're going to be presenting in October. We really hope you can join us. We really hope that you'll spread the word. Those folks who weren't able to be on here, we'll have the recording available. That will go out tomorrow. It'll be available. We'll have a link for it on GSNA social media pages, on the website. We'll post it in a lot of different places. So we really want you to feel comfortable sharing it, talking about it. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to send them over to us. Let's see here. I saw some other stuff come in.
Yep, we got a
Ellie.
question from Ellie that says, will we be able to access the webinars after hours, or will you have to register for the webinar to then be able to see it later? And actually, it'll all be on the website after it ends. You won't have to pre-register. So if you miss it and you still want to see it, you can watch it anytime before the end of October.
That's right. And so again, love the questions, love the engagement. If you have any thoughts, any advice, any feedback, the one thing that I think I can speak for our committee as a whole is we're very humble, right? Like we're humble enough to be able to take direction and feedback and thoughts, and we really want this to be yours. We want you to be able to feel great about what it is that's being presented to you, feel great about how to use it for employee development, for employee engagement. We know it's been a tough year, right? We know that y'all have asked your teams to do a lot of incredible and crazy things. And so we want to be able to do something where there's a fun sort of give back while adding education, participation in a new way. So that being said, do y'all have, if there's no other questions, right? We look forward to seeing you in October. Please look for continued information and dates as we roll them out. I see some more questions coming in.
Nope, we're good. It already got answered.
Perfect. Otherwise, besides that, everyone have a great afternoon, and we look forward to talking more about it in October.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thanks, Corey and Emily, for hosting.
Thank you.